Unit 8. The Amazing World Around Us. Lesson 4, 5, 6 and 7.
Hi everyone. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Unit 8, Lesson 4, Listening 1. Listen and complete the answers.
Which subject do you think is more difficult, English or science?
In my opinion, science is the most difficult of all.
I think Dahab has the most beautiful beach in Egypt, do you?
I agree. It's also the least crowded.
What's your opinion of ice skating? Do you agree that it's more dangerous than mountain climbing?
I'm afraid I don't agree.
What do you think about the new TV show?
I think it's the funniest show on TV right now.
3. Ask question about the following in pairs. Agree and disagree. Books. Famous buildings. Films and TV. Holiday places. School subjects. Sports. What's the best book you can think of? Why?
In my opinion, it's Gulliver's Travels because it's very exciting.
I disagree. I'm sure modern books are better.
Lesson 4. 1. Complete the questions with words from the box. 1. What do you think about going to the sports club tonight? 2. What's the best place to play tennis near here? 3. What's your opinion of doing a sport every week? 4. Do you agree that Thursday evening is the most expensive time to go to a sports club? 5. Which sport do you think is better, football or tennis? 2. Read the answers. Write the correct questions from exercise 1. 1. What's your opinion of doing a sport every week? 2. Which sport do you think is better, football or tennis? 3. What's the best place to play tennis near here? 4. Do you agree that Thursday evening is the most expensive time to go to a sports club? 5. What do you think about going to the sports club tonight?
Unit 8. Lesson 5.
Lesson 5. Reading Student Book. Page 19. Pre-reading question. When did the oldest museum in Cairo open? Read the text. What is the main idea of the article? The Grand Egyptian Museum. 1. The oldest museum in Cairo opened in 1835. There were more than 160,000 of Egypt's most valuable treasures on display. However, the museum did not have space for 100,000 other objects. In 2002, there was a competition to design a bigger and more modern museum. The competition had 1,557 designs from more than 80 different countries. 2. The Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM, welcomed its first visitors in 2019. It is further from the city center than the old museum, but only 2 kilometers from the pyramids at Giza. It has more space for valuable objects, more people can see them, and it is able to look after the objects really well. 3. One of the most beautiful parts of the museum is the entrance with its big plants and statues. The biggest is that of Ramses XI, which is 12 meters high. 4. Moving these objects from the old museum in Cairo to complete the Grand Egyptian Museum is not easy. It is expected to take many years of hard work.
4. Read the text again and say what these numbers refer to. 1. 2. The number of kilometers from the pyramids of Giza to the New Gem. 2. 80. The number of countries that sent in designs for the building. 3. 1557. The number of designs for the competition. 4. 12. The height of the statue of Ramses II. 5. 160,000. The number of objects on display in the old building. 6. 2002. The year there was a competition to design a bigger and more museums.
1. Complete the text with the superlative form of these adjectives. The British Museum in London is the oldest public museum in the world. It opened in 1759 and now has more than 13 million objects. About 6 million visitors go there every year. The museum has the biggest collection of Egyptian objects outside Egypt. One of its most important objects is the Rosetta Stone. This arrives at the museum in 1802. The writing on the stone is in 3 different languages. This allowed people to understand ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics for the first time. In my opinion, the most beautiful part of the museum is the Great Court. Its big glass room makes it the largest covered square in Europe. It opened in 2002, so it is also the most modern part of the museum. Lesson 6. Reading Student Book. Page 20. Pre-reading questions. Describe the hypostyle hall. Read the text again and answer the questions. We had a wonderful holiday in Egypt. These are my opinions about 3 of the most interesting places. The Valley of the Kings in Luxor is one of the most popular places for tourists to visit. We went early because that is the quietest time. My brother said, "This is fantastic. I am sure it gets busier later on during the day." The biggest place we went to was the Karnak Temple. My favorite part was the hypostyle hall, a 5,000 square meter room with 134 stone columns. I think it was more crowded than the Valley of the Kings. In my opinion, the best and quietest place we visited was Habu Temple. It has columns similar to those at Karnak, but because it is less crowded, you can study them for longer. Student Book. Page 20. Do you know about the wonders of the ancient world? People thought that they were the most fantastic buildings in the world. Many of them were in or near Egypt. For many centuries, this lighthouse of Alexandria was the tallest building ever made. The sea was dangerous for boats because there were a lot of rocks. Near Alexandria, the lighthouse warned boats about the rocks. This was a very important invention. We use similar technology today. We still use lighthouses to warn boats about rocks. Boats are safer now thanks to the work of the ancient Egyptians. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were probably in modern-day Iraq. These were beautiful gardens around a huge palace. The statue of Zeus was in ancient Greece. This was believed to be the biggest statue in the world. Another wonder of the world was the Colossus of Rhodes. This was another big statue in ancient Greece. The ancient Greeks also built the Temple of Artemis and the tomb of Mausolus. Time and earthquakes destroyed most of these wonders of the world. After an earthquake in Alexandria, they built Fort Cape at the same place as the Lighthouse of Alexandria and used many stones from the same building. Today, only the Great Pyramid of Giza remains. Experts believe that this was the first ancient wonder because it is older than the others. Every year, millions of people come to see the pyramids of Egypt. They are some of the most visited tourist attraction anywhere. For many people, the Great Pyramid of Giza is also a wonder of the modern world. Which building do you like the best? Why?
Reading Workbook page 82. Circle the correct words and add any missing punctuation. Al-Azhar Park is the largest and the most beautiful park in Cairo. It is much larger than the small park near my house. That park has a few trees and plants and I enjoy going there after school. You can spend an hour or two in that park, but you can spend a lot of time at Al-Azhar Park. The trees there are tallest and it has more plants. It also has fountains, a lake and cafes, too. I like going there because there is space for all our family to have a big picnic at the weekends. My sister always says, I love it here.
Hi everyone. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel.